You know, you thinking when you get pregnant, this man's going to do the right thing. They're going to marry you. You're going to live happily ever after in a home with a picket fence and a dog, and you might have another baby added to it. And they're going to want to be there for the child because you're pregnant with that child. See, I romanticize that stuff, and that's another thing that we need to talk about because, to be honest with you, this nigga didn't want me. He never wanted me. This is something that I wanted, and I thought that he wanted me. Because he picked me out, you done took me out a few times, you done fucked me a few times. So I'm thinking that you like me. You done chased me down, you know, from the job I was working in. You're doing everything you can to go out your way to get my phone number, to pick me up and to take me out on a date. So then I'm getting pregnant, and I'm just going through in my mind what I've seen on damn cartoons, what I've seen in damn books and nursery rhymes and shit. See, many of us, how this shit starts, we don't want to really look at the true origin of how the shit starts. And this is just not about baby daddy shit. It's about husband-wife shit. It's about mama and daughter shit and mama and daughter and daddy shit. See, what I'm trying to tell you is a lot of times when we have drama with men that we get pregnant by, that shit always goes back to some unresolved drama, or even if it was no drama at all, still something that was not in place or clicking like it was supposed to with the mama and the daddy issue. And then we go out in the street looking for the love we didn't get at home and looking for a daddy figure, a husband, a lover, and a confidant in that man that we get pregnant by. And we will start to tell ourselves some shit that's not true. Now, I'm going to read you some of what this girl wrote me, and I'm going to break down what she said to me. And I don't know if she's tuning in. I'd asked her to tune in because I said I was doing this show especially for her, and I could relate to where she's at now because she's going through it at 26. I went through it when I was 20 and was basically a kid carrying a kid. So I know that how sometimes the way we see this thing, now, I'm not saying it's not devastating. Yes, it's devastating to be young and pregnant by yourself, and you thought that you had this solid relationship with somebody, and they walk off and they leave you, and now you're stuck with this big belly, and it's growing bigger every day. And the closer you get to due date, because I was actually petrified, the closer that 9-month due date got up, I was terrified because I did not have a plan. I did not know what to do, and I knew that I was going to have to raise that baby by myself. I didn't have a good mother to look up to. I didn't have a good father to turn to. I had no money. I had no job. All that I had was living in my grandmother's house. And a lot of times she would say, I'm tired of you. I really want y'all to get out of my house. I want my house to myself so I can be with my boyfriend and fuck. So I really didn't know where to go. And sometimes those options were looking good when people were like, look, you're poor, you're young, you ain't got no education, you ain't got no money. The worst thing you can do is keep this baby right now. Do yourself a favor and do this baby a favor and just give this baby to somebody that's got a loving home with some money, or just end it. You know, you can still end it even though the baby's fully developed. Sometimes those thoughts actually went through my mind because I had nothing and nobody to turn to. But now that I look back, and I'm surprised I see so many young girls going through the same thing that I went through, some of those things didn't have to be that difficult for me. Yes, it is emotionally difficult, and nothing can ever take away from that when you're really in love with a man and you done made up your mind that this man is yours. He done told you he was yours. He's laying with you. He's playing with you. He's not using protection. You're not using it. So you know that basically he's making a decision to possibly get you pregnant. You're thinking that this is something that is made in heaven. It's forever because he's co-signing on this. And even if you're using protection, because those stories come up too, some men will poke holes in condoms and still leave a woman knowing that he wanted to get her pregnant. That he just gets off on going around spreading babies, just duplicating himself all over. It's this ego shit he got in his head. And then some of them, like this girl just told me, she used condoms and I don't know how the condom slipped off or put it off, but it got stuck in her vagina. She didn't know the vagina, the condom was stuck there. She was in a lot of pain, and she went to the doctor, and they pulled it out. So, and that's when she found out she was pregnant, but you just basically got sperm slipping up out of a condom that's stuck in her vagina, just swimming around, having a field day up in there. So you leave sperm in your vagina a couple of days, or even if it's at the opening of your vagina, you don't douche and clean it out. Sperm can still travel upwards. They know how to do that kind of shit. Go through your cervix and still get you pregnant. So it's not like she was just not using, not having safe sex. But what I'm saying we have to do is analyze the very beginnings of what brought on the baby daddy connection. Because we sitting there with the jacked up stomach, crying, feeling depressed, want to go kill the nigga. I want to find our brother and get a whole group of family members to light the torches at night and go down there and put a cross up and lynch his ass, you know, and nail him to the cross and burn him up. But we really have, this is a time, first of all, I want to say, when we're pregnant, the worst thing to do is start beating yourself up, beating the man up, talking about how you hate him, because the baby internalizes and listens to and accepts everything that you say. And although you're talking about the baby daddy, this is a part of the baby daddy that's inside of your womb because it has the DNA codes that gave you the baby that is growing in your womb. So the baby is processing a lot of self-hatred and low self-esteem and depression and back and forth emotions. So if you have a lot of erratic emotions, you need to stop it. This is the wrong time to do it because you're going to usually give birth to a baby that's got some kind of emotional problems or some psychological problems or even moody. I've seen babies come out be fucked up and moody and shit and low down because the mother was fucked up and moody and depressed and hated herself and hated her life and hated her decision and hated the baby daddy. So this is a time that you have to start acquiring tools. This is a time to learn about birthing, taking birthing classes, reading books on birthing and healthy deliveries, meditation, the power of positive thinking and prayer, getting your body massaged. Actually start to speak to your body differently, getting your journals, writing down all of the pain, all of the hurt, all of the fear, all of the doubt, all of the shame and the insecurity that you have. Because we have a lot of pregnant women walking around with a lot of shame inside of us. I walked around with that shame for years because I was afraid. I was ashamed that I was pregnant because I knew that when older people looked at me, they knew that I had been fucking. Even though it was like one time I got pregnant, they still going to look at you. And older women were, and the women in church were tooting their nose up at me and wouldn't speak to me and said I was a slut just because I was pregnant. And as my stomach got bigger, the more shame and that I felt and the more degrading things that people would say to me and tell me how stupid I was. So I would just go eat and cry and eat and cry and just spend my whole days and whole nights depressed because all of the women that were around me were helping to destroy my self-image and telling me how fucking dumb I was and what a failure I was. And I'm sitting there with a goddamn jacked up stomach and I couldn't do nothing about the jacked up stomach because I knew I wasn't going to get rid of this shit. But then they telling you what an idiot you are and how now your life fucked up. You ain't going to be shit. You ain't going to go nowhere. Then the daddy telling me it ain't mine. Shit, you trying to put the shit on me. Not, I mean, I offered you some money for an abortion just in case it might be. But you know what now, bitch, the shit ain't even damn mine. So I'm not helping your ass either. And I'm not listening to you either. Once you had a baby, we'll get a blood test. I'll even see if we can get one while you're pregnant. But until then, I ain't really got shit to say to you. First of all, until I look at it, and then until we go to the doctor. So I'm just a fucking mess. I'm just fucked up in the head all the way around because everybody around me saying that they don't fucking love me. They don't want shit to do with me. I'm a stupid-ass, dumb-ass bitch that done fucked up my whole goddamn life because I got a jacked-up stomach and a baby growing in my stomach. So this is the wrong time that you need to do that to yourself and that you need to listen to other people do that to you. Nobody deserves to beat you up because you have this baby in your womb, and you need to stop telling yourself these are the derogatory things. This is the time that you have to develop life skills and tools to help pull yourself up from this situation. You have to realize that this is a beautiful thing that is happening to you. Now, the circumstances and the biology of what is occurring is two separate things. See, people want to associate pregnancy with being negative. No, you see negative circumstances and experiences that you're dealing with that are so bad and that were a mistake. The circumstances of the relationship. And now that you're pregnant, you're going to see that this man you thought was a man is really a punk motherfucker and not a man at all. That is what's depressing you, and that is what's negative.